This week at Aldi, I purchased a Butterball boneless turkey breast roast, and I'm excited to make this. I'm actually going to be making it in a slow cooker because I'm going to have my oven going with stuffing, and then I'm also going to be making stuff on the stove top, and I just wanted to make it in the slow cooker and see how it goes. I got a new slow cooker, which I'm excited about, and it has like a temperature probe, so we're going to see how that goes. But let's get started because I am ready to have a delicious turkey dinner tonight. I have everything prepped. I have all of my seasonings in this container here. I have my butter here softened, and then I'm making the broth in my pan from a super cube. If you saw my recipe on how to make bone broth, I love to freeze them in 1 cup portions like this in super cubes, and then I put it into a stasher bag, or you can use a freezer safe container and then freeze them and pop out one whenever you need it. So there's a lot of juice in here, so I'm gonna be really careful while opening this. I don't want it to gush out all over my countertop. So here is the crock of my new crock pot, and I'm just gonna put that to the side so I can easily put my roast right in. It defrosted for 1.5 days. They say to do it for a day and a half, and that is exactly what I did, and it worked perfectly. I'm just gonna pierce this because I don't want all that juice everywhere. You can see it's just juicing out. You could use scissors too, but I don't have any shears right now that aren't fancy that I don't wanna get raw meat on. I actually have to buy a new pair of shears. My husband and son took them out into the garden and used them on the landscaping materials. So I kind of don't like to use that now. Now they're designated for the garden. So we're just gonna take this out, and I wanna keep the actual mesh intact. So I'm carefully cutting it out of here. And here's that packet. We're just gonna discard this. I don't want this gravy. I'm gonna make my own gravy. But if you wanted that gravy, that's totally fine too. You could use that. I just prefer to make my own. Now I'm gonna take this and place it right into my crock pot. Perfect. Is this a good angle? Would you guys prefer to see me in the video? Do you prefer the face down like this? Let me know. I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of butter here, and we're just gonna slather that right on. And it should be softened, because you want to make sure that you can get it all over your turkey breast. And we're just gonna cover it like that. And then what I'm gonna do now is, now that that's like slathered on there pretty much, I'm gonna take my seasonings. I have a bunch of seasonings here. I have garlic, which is granulated garlic, guys. I love granulated garlic. If you ever hear me say garlic, it's 99% of the time gonna be granulated and not powdered. I don't even think I have powdered in the house. I barely ever use it. And then we're gonna add some paprika. I have paprika, garlic, salt, pepper, and parsley. Then you can add any other herbs that you like. You can even use fresh herbs. This is just the mixture that I like. It's what my mom always used, and I love the way my mom's gravy tasted, and this is exactly how I make it. Now you just wanna really make sure that's all massaged all over the turkey. And you can also do this on the regular turkey that you put in the oven, the same mixture, but you're gonna wanna obviously double it. I usually use a stick for a whole turkey breast that has the bone inside, and we're just really slathering this on. Whoa, it's fallen. So I wanna make sure that I can get as much butter I can off of these gloves, and if you were doing it with your hands, you wanna just make sure you get all that off, because you want it on the actual turkey, not in the garbage or down the drain. And we're just really getting it all covered as much as we can here. And don't forget, we're gonna pour the juices over the turkey anyway, so it's gonna be super flavorful, it's gonna be moist and delicious, and I'm really excited to see how this slow cooker works with the probe inside of it. Now it is a sous vide one. I will never sous vide. That is just something I'm not interested in, but I am excited about the actual mechanism of the probe and seeing the temperature of my food, and really seeing that I cook it at the proper temperature and the right amount of time. So I think we're gonna go for low at 4 hours, and then I wanna see that that turkey is 165 degrees Fahrenheit so that I know it's done. So now I'm gonna put in my broth. So I'm gonna add the crock into the crock pot. Now I'm going to add that broth that I let cool down a little bit. And if you're using canned broth, you obviously don't need it to cool down.
That looks yummy.
Thank you, bud. Perfect. Oh, and my bread is just about done in the oven. A little awkward for a second there. I think we got it though. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on slow cook We're gonna do low. Oh my gosh, this is great. Oh, target temperature. Okay, 165. That's pretty cool. I wanted to do hours though. So maybe I will take this out. Can I take that out? Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to do slow cook. That's cool that I could do that, but for you guys, I want to make sure I'm doing it so we can do it by hours, because not everybody's going to have this one. So that would have been fun, but darn. Oh, now this is going to get yucky right there. Clean that little spot, like all that go in there. I don't want that to not cook, so because not all of us have this slow cooker, I'm going to press slow cook, low, and 4 hours. Although that temperature probe was pretty awesome. So I will be trying that, and yeah, here we go.
Okay, so it's been 4 hours. Our turkey breast is ready. I'm going to remove some of the seasoning from the top and then actually spoon the broth over. And then I'm also going to cut off that mesh. I went and bought some scissors, and I'm carefully just cutting that mesh off because it is holding it all together. I'm going to take the roast, a little parsley, and then broil it about 2 to 4 minutes. Then I'm going to take that broth and get all the schmutz, like my grandma would say, out of there by using a strainer. Then I'm going to use some of the fat, and I did spill some on my stove. Oops. I'm going to put that into a saucepan or a skillet and then mix that with some flour. My mom used to use Wondra. I know that's great for preventing clumps, but I don't have an issue if I use a spoon or a Danish whisk. You can even use a regular whisk. If you're mixing fat and flour to a 1-to-1 ratio, you'll make a roux. And then we're just going to let that brown and then add the broth slowly in small amounts. And then once I add enough, we'll have enough to actually thin all of that flour roux mixture. So then once I've added enough, I'm going to just whisk in the rest of it, and then it's going to be nice and creamy and silky like this. I'm going to remove it to a cutting board, and then I'm going to slice it. It is actually falling apart. My knife's not the sharpest. I do need to sharpen that, but it is so tender. I'm going to spoon over some of that gravy. It is so delicious. I love this gravy. It's a gravy my mom always made, and I'm going to serve it up with some corn, mashed potatoes, and stuffing. And yeah, we should have had a green, but we actually ate a lot of salad and string beans today, so we went carb happy on this meal, and we didn't regret it one bit. It was so delicious.
Our turkey is done, and I added some of my buttered corn. This is actually on my other site, Know Your Produce, amazing. And then we have some mashed potatoes with gravy on top and a little bit of stuffing. I'm going to dig right in. Lefty, I gotta kind of go like this. It does cut with a fork. It's nice and juicy. And I did broil it in the oven after. So I'm just gonna swoop up some of that gravy. Oh, can't wait to dig in. I'm gonna get a little bit of mashed potatoes, and then I'm crazy. I like a little bit of corn with it. So this is the perfect bite for me. Gonna go right in. Now I'm gonna try the turkey on its own with the gravy that we made. It is salted to perfection. If you're using a chicken broth, I recommend using a low sodium chicken broth. I use my own homemade broth, and it's not too salty. I like it so I can add salt to it. Oh, so good. It's literally falling apart in my mouth. Wow. Super easy to cut with my fork. Go enjoy the rest of this with my family. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye, friends.